It is such a thrill to be speaking to a lady who is an icon in America herself, but her father was even more greatly loved. I welcome to Nightline, Deana Martin. Hi, Deana.
How are you?
Oh, look, better for speaking to you. And you know, your father had quite an association with Australia, and I'll be telling you this, I think, for the first time. Back in the 1980s, there was a top-rating variety show in Australia called the Don Lane Show, and although your dad never made it down under, yes, Don did a satellite interview with your dad at NBC, and it was wonderful.
Oh, wasn't he fantastic?
Your dad was, yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say he was so cool, and that's who he was.
Yeah, and he's so relaxed, you know.
I know, he made everything look so easy. But I'm finding out it's not so easy.
Oh, I don't believe that. You're the total pro. But I have to tell you a couple of aspects of that interview which I remember fondly. One was that your father said to Don, "There's no need to shout, Don, I can hear you," because Don was very Jewish and very excited about the whole thing. And then Don, the MC, put his foot in it. He said, "Dean, is this your first country album?" It must have been to coincide with a release of a new album. And your dad put him back in his place, and he said, "Don, all my songs are country and western. They always have been."
Oh, that's cute. He was so good with his interviews and things like that. He had such a fantastic sense of humor.
You know, a question you answer in the book, and I'll ask you to elaborate a little, and somebody says to you, "Was Dean a good father?" And you replied, "Well, I loved my father. I loved him all my life." And you go on to say, "Was he a good father?" No, he wasn't a good father, but he was a good man. Explain that for us.
Okay. You know, in those days, and I'm sure it would be different now, you know, he was a great dad. He didn't know how to father. He didn't pick us up at school or help me with my homework or, do things like that. He wasn't hands-on like that. He was an unbelievable man. He was funny. He was fun. He came home every night for dinner. And, when he wasn't off doing his, making a movie or in Las Vegas or something. But he just didn't know how to do that. Nowadays, when I think about a good father who's someone who's there and, talking to you and helping you with homework and things. But this was, in a day where he didn't have time to do that. And to tell you the truth, I'm sorry that I said that because people always take it the wrong way. It's like they don't get it. I mean, he was unbelievable provider. He was fun. He was fabulous. He just didn't know how to be a father the way I wanted him to, way back when.
And Deana, that was probably the sort of more of a sign of the times, I think, as it was back then. It was very much the mother's job to be raising the children, and the father was the provider. Come home for dinner, watch telly, go to bed, or that sort of thing.
That's right, and that's what he would do. Yes. But it's so much fun to be around, and what a doll. But I'm glad that you asked me about that because sometimes people just take it totally out of context and don't understand. And but I'm glad the way you put it, and that's great to set the record straight. But it's a good book, isn't it?
It's a wonderful read. I'll promote the book for you a little later, and the album, and especially your Melbourne show. But Simon, wanted to ask.
I just thought the easygoing persona, Dean made everything look so easy. Was that the way he approached everything in life, or was that sort of the character he played when he was in the limelight? No,
that was him. It was amazing. I don't know how he did it. He never would get mad. He would just let things. Well, here's this is perfect, and he's so Italian. He would, just go along, and that's all right. He wouldn't argue, wouldn't do anything. But when he had it up to here, he'd had it up to here, and then it was over. And in fact, that's what happened with Jerry Lewis. They were together for 10 fabulous years. I mean, what a comedy team they were. And I love their movies, and I love Jerry. But it was just too much Jerry for him, and those 10 years were perfect. And Dad had enough, and so then that was it. It was over.
I know
You know,
it.
no,
Yeah, I know at
no
parties.
big fight or anything.
No, no, I know. Very placid personality. I know from your book that he really didn't enjoy parties where he had to make small talk. And Dean, he certainly didn't suffer fools gladly.
You know, you're absolutely right. And it was funny. His line was, he said, you know, I don't like chit chat. I don't mind the chit, it's the chat. You know, he just, you know, he didn't want to. You know, when I think about what he did, and he was out there entertaining and being so incredible for everybody for all those years, and you just want to go home and be quiet. He didn't want to. You know, when you're someone like a Dean Martin, people don't leave you alone. You know, and he was just like a homebody. He really loved to go home and, you know, have dinner and then watch his westerns on TV.
The effortlessness in which he approached life and the on-stage thing, is that what led you to leap into the same field?
Well, you know, it's funny. This is what I have wanted to do all of my life. And, you know, thank heavens, you know, I was given ballet lessons and tap lessons and piano lessons, and it's just in my DNA. I just love entertaining. And I have to say, all the Martins, you know, we were all hams. You know, I mean, everybody had a great sense of humor, and it was, you know, imagine growing up in a house with 7 kids. Everybody would have a friend over, so there's 14 people there. But it was a fun place to be. But for me, I always wanted to be on stage, and I'll never forget the first time I saw, my dad in Las Vegas. When he came out on when he came out on stage and everybody around me went, there he is. And then he started to sing, then he said, how long I've been on.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, you know, and so I said, I want to do that. I've got to do that because he made everybody so happy. And there he was, and he looked cool. He looked so at ease, and you know, he would draw the audience in. It was like being in our living room. He's just talking to people and singing, and I just fell in love with that, and I wanted to do that, and you know, and so I'm living my dream, absolutely.
Yeah, and I understand what we thought was scotch on the rocks was probably apple cider in the glass.
Yeah, Martinelli's apple cider. Yeah. Well, you know, I still try to be, you know, and to this day, and people ask me, you know, all the time, I still can't believe that people thought that he actually drank like that. You know, I said, who could do you know, when you think about the body of work that he had, you know, from the nightclubs and the movies.
Yes, you'd have to be a sponge to absorb all that. You know,
exactly.
I was at Bally's on one occasion and enjoyed the show enormously. And I'd been in touch through the years a bit with Mort Viner, Dean Martin's manager. And also that night I was sitting with a man who will be familiar to you. It was Joe Stabile, the brother of the band leader Dick Stabile. And I think Joe was looking after Dean's affairs at the time, Deana.
Yes. Joe Stabile and Dick Stabile.
Yeah,
the brothers. Yeah.
Yeah, well, of course, Dick, you know, conducted the band on so many of Dean Martin's records. Now, tell us about your show, because the good news is that next Friday night, and for one night only, you'll be at Palms at Crown in Melbourne at 8 o'clock, and, you know, your dad would be so proud of you, Deana.
Oh, thank you for saying that, and I think he would. I'm looking so forward to that. I understand it's the most beautiful place, and it's, you know, for me to be able to sing these songs, to get up and entertain, and also, of course, to sing the duet with my dad, and I have a beautiful video montage of home movies and things. But for me to be able to get up there and sing these songs about, you know, with the people that I grew up with, Uncle Frank Sinatra, Uncle Sammy Davis Jr., or you know, Judy Garland or Peggy Lee or Rosemary Clooney. These are all people who were in my home. Yes. You know, these are the people that I learned from. So for me to be able to get up and entertain everybody, and of course I have my dad's sense of humor, so there'll be a lot of humor and some stories and the great music and audience participation. You know, I make sure that I get 3 volunteers to come up and sing backup for me for Memories Are Made of This. It's usually a very fun part of the show.
I better,
and I go,
I better sit.
I
In,
go
I
out in
better
the
sit. In,
audience.
now I'm going to sit in the back row. Now you've told me that.
Oh yeah, no, because I'll ask you to come up and sing. So then I walk out in the audience for That's Amore, and everybody, sings along for That's Amore.
Yeah.
It's just a great feeling show, and thank you for saying that my dad would be proud of me. I think he would. I think he would love to come to my show.
And Deana, you mentioned that you obviously have inherited a lot of the showbiz pizzazz from your dad. What about from your mum? Is there anything you inherited from your mum?
Yes, actually. And do you know that, my mother, do you know that she wrote that fabulous song, For Your Love, that Ed Townsend had a hit with in 1958? For your love, I would do anything.
Oh yeah, beautiful ballad. Have you recorded the song yourself?
Yes, I did, and I believe it's on my Memories Are Made of This album.
Right.
And it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then I have my stepmom, Jeannie, who is still alive and who raised me. So I had the best of both worlds. I had my mother, Betty McDonald Martin, and Jeannie, who I call Mom, and she's she's in Beverly Hills right now. Still looks gorgeous. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah. Now
Yes.
Deana, in the dedication in the book, Deana Martin, written with Wendy Holden. The book is called, folks, Memories Are Made of This, Dean Martin Through His Daughter's Eyes, and forward by Jerry Lewis, and we'll talk about Jerry shortly, but it's a must-read. I'd like to know who the four men in your life were. You dedicated the book to John, Mickey, Hunter, and Jagger. Are they brothers?
No, my husband is John.
Yeah.
My son is Mickey.
Yeah.
My grandson is Hunter. And my grandson is Jagger. And now I have a new grandson called Knight, Knight.
Well, you...
So I would have, yeah.
Well, I'm looking at some photos. You have to be the best-looking grandmother I've ever talked to.
Well, thank you so much. It's, that's hard work, too.
Look, we're just going to take a brief break. I know you're on stage at Bankstown very shortly. Take a brief break and come back. I just want to talk to you about Jerry Lewis, please, Deana.
All right. It's a pleasure.
We are thrilled on Nightline tonight to be talking to Deana Martin, the daughter of Dean Martin, and she's coming to Melbourne next Friday night. She'll be at the Crown, and I'll be there. And I think you can be assured of a standing ovation, if not at the beginning, certainly at the end, Deana.
Oh, thank you. I hope so. It's such a lot of hard work, but it's so worth it, and it's so much fun. I get such a kick when I go out on stage, and I have these great musicians behind me. But my dad, I have a video where my dad introduces me. So the minute I hear, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like you to meet my daughter, Deana," my heart goes, and it's exciting, and I get to walk out on stage and sing this fabulous music. It's so much fun for me.
Yeah.
Now, Deana, just before the break, Phil mentioned you're possibly the best-looking grandmother he's ever interviewed, and you said that's hard work as well. Do you work hard to keep in shape?
Oh, absolutely, every day. In fact, I watch everything I eat. Because now, remember, I'm Italian and Irish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the worst combination.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
And, so, I just watch it, and I eat right, and I exercise every day, and I have a great attitude, and I have a wonderful life. I have a fabulous husband and son and grandkids and all of this work. So it's... and also I think the working and learning new songs and keeping up with all of that keeps you young also.
Am I right that you put out fitness videos at some point?
Yes, I did. When, let's see, it was back when Jane Fonda was doing it also, and I had a company called Bodies by Deana.
Yes.
And actually I got on that because I was always a little bit overweight. Yeah, I mean, not much, 5 pounds, but it's always that last 5 pounds.
Yeah. Now, Deana Martin, you're probably aware that John Travolta is a qualified Qantas pilot, often flies himself to Australia. Did you fly to Australia? Did you fly yourself? Did you pilot yourself in your own Learjet?
No, we didn't, but it's a Cessna, it's a twin. No, we did not, because I'll tell you what, when you're going that far, I definitely would have wanted a martini. And if you're the pilot, it's 8 hours, bottle to throttle.
So Phil's not joking here, is he? I'm not aware of this aspect of your life. Outside of the showbiz, you're a pilot, are you?
I'm a pilot, yes, absolutely. And when our shows are close to each other, then we can do it. But and so we'll fly, from one gig to the next. But I'll tell you, I like getting on a plane.
Is that just a money-saving thing so you don't have to pay one more roadie?
Oh, boy.
Oh, my God, the crew, the entourage. No, you know what? It's my husband was a pilot. My brother Dean Paul was a pilot. But it's so freeing. There's just something about flying, and I have a beautiful plane, and it's called Volare. Volare means to fly in Italian.
Yeah. Oh, how appropriate. Yeah. And, of course, on a poignant note, I don't think your father ever recovered from the fact that Dino's jet plane crashed into the mountains. And, your father went into seclusion after that, didn't he?
Yeah, no one's ever supposed to lose their kids. Gosh, that was so sad. I still, it's almost like I still don't believe it. Dino was so alive and fabulous, and he just had a new TV series. And, when he came to me and he said, Deana, he said, I'm the Air National Guard. He says, so when you look up in the sky, I'll be protecting you.
Yes.
And, oh, my gosh, I just got chills.
I know. And Deana, what a wonderful actor he was, and what a great tennis player he was when you think back to the movie Players, for example.
Yeah, yes, he was. Yeah. And, he played Wimbledon.
I'm aware of that, and I know he was a favourite brother of yours. And I have a very strong belief, I have a very firm faith that people like Dino and your father, Dean, their spirit is hovering with us always. Don't you agree?
Oh, I know that, and I feel it. Absolutely. Yeah. And, I know that, and Uncle Frank, and all of these people surround me, but I know Dean Paul and my dad, they're there, and my sister Claudia.
Yes.
Also.
Oh, yes, no doubt about it. And we'll all be reunited, I believe, in the hereafter. But you'll think but you'll think you're talking to Billy Graham and instead of Philip Brady. A couple of things I want to... by the way, there's an airport there at Bankstown, so don't you be tempted to take a flight late tonight, will you? Right where you are, there's an airport there.
Oh, I know. We passed it, and I thought, gee, we could land there.
Yeah. I have to ask you about Jerry Lewis. Are you in touch with him these days?
Yes, I'm trying to think. We just missed each other. I had to do a show in Las Vegas, but he had to go to. In fact, I just saw him. I think it was last month. We did something together, and but he was being honored at the Friars Club, and I'm a friar, so he had to fly to New York, and I had to fly to Las Vegas, and we just missed each other. But he's a dear friend.
And Deana, I want to ask a very personal question, and feel free to say, no, none of your business, go away, I'm not interested in answering that question. When growing up around all those, the Hollywood celebrities as you would have, now, before you met John, were there boyfriends or crushes of people you met who would be names that we know today?
One of my favorites was Davy Jones.
Oh, from the Monkees.
Yeah.
Really?
My Davy. Oh. Absolutely. And in fact, one of his last shows, I went to the show and I surprised him. They showed a clip of when I was on the Monkees with him, when we have the stars in our eyes. And I came out and I sang Everybody Loves Somebody to him. Oh. And then he turned around and he sang Secret Love to me. Yeah. Once I had a secret love, and and that was the last time that that we had performed together, and it was wonderful. And this is just just before he passed away.
And
that was such a shock.
Yeah, are we going to see that clip next Friday night at Crown? Do you have that clip with you?
Gee, I do have it. I wonder if we can work that out. It was so great. But if you have a time, go on YouTube or
yes.
So it's The Monkey Show. Some Like It Lukewarm was the title of it.
Okay. Now I know you're about to go on stage, and I do cherish the time you gave us tonight. I feel the connection. I feel I know you already.
Oh, I know. Well, we are kindred spirits, and I will see you next week. I have to go put on a beautiful gown now and go out and dazzle and sing some beautiful songs.
You will, and I just want to, while you're still on the line, I want to promote the fact that Dean Martin's daughter, Deana, will be at Palms at Crown next Friday night at 8, bookings through Ticketek. I also want to mention this fabulous biography with Wendy Holden. Its Memories Are Made of This. You can't forget that. It's Dean Martin Through Deana's Eyes with a foreword by Jerry Lewis. And also, hopefully, your 2 CDs are still on sale. The first from 2006, Memories Are Made of This. And then, of course, Destination Moon, which I believe incorporates a duet with Dad.
Yes, it does, and it's beautiful. And I will perform that in Melbourne.
All right, I look forward to taking the liberty, if your husband will allow me, of giving you a hug after the show next Friday night.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for the interview, and I will see you, and bring all your friends.
I sure will, folks. That was Deana Martin.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bless you, Deana.
Right.
Bye.
All right. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye-bye. Good night.